Most people think you need a ton of money to live off dividends. You don't. I'm going to show you exactly how $25 a week, the price of a couple of takeout meals, can turn into $3,000 a month in passive dividend income. And I'm going to show you 3 completely different ways to get there, backed by real numbers. My name is Tony, and today I want to show you how to make $3,000 a month with only $25 a week. I'll walk you through 3 different strategies, and you can decide which one fits your situation best. But I'm sure it's the third one. Shall we bet? So make sure to stay until the end, leave a like, and let's start. Strategy 1. Low yield, high dividend growth. Let's start with the first approach. This is the one where your starting dividend yield is on the lower side, somewhere in the range of 2%, but the dividend grows consistently year after year. And I mean really grows. A great example of this in real life is DGRO, the iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF. As of right now in 2026, DGRO has a dividend yield of about 2%, and it holds over 400 dividend-paying stocks inside it. Companies like Microsoft, Apple, JP Morgan, and Procter & Gamble. These are businesses with real earnings, real profits, and a long track record of paying and growing their dividends. DGRO has delivered an average annual return of around 12.9% over the last 10 years, which is actually slightly better than the S&P 500 over that same period. Now, how does this strategy actually work to build $3,000 a month? It comes down to something called the dividend snowball effect. Here's how it works. When a company pays you a dividend, instead of pocketing that cash, you reinvest it to buy more shares. More shares means more dividends next time. And if the company is also raising its dividend every year, which the companies inside DGRO consistently do, then you're getting paid more per share and you own more shares. Both things are compounding at the same time. The longer you let this run, the faster it grows. So if I invested $25 a week into DGRO, starting with $1,000 based on its current yield and historical dividend growth, it would take roughly 37 years to reach $3,000 a month in dividend income. Now before you close the tab, hear me out. I know that sounds like forever, but think about what's actually happening over that time. It would take about 29 years to hit a $1,000 a month, then just 5 more years to hit $2,000 a month, then only 3 more years after that to reach $3,000. The growth is not linear. It accelerates. That's the snowball. And remember, this is only $25 a week. If you invested $100 a week instead, you could cut nearly a decade off that timeline. Strategy 2. High yield, low dividend growth. Now let's flip it. What if instead of waiting for growth, you just go after income right now with a high yield approach? The best real-world example of this is JEPI, the JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. As of May 2026, JEPI is sitting at a dividend yield of around 8.3%, and it pays out every single month. Every month. That's not nothing. If you need cash flow now, that's incredibly appealing. But here's what most people don't think about. JEPI generates that high yield partly through a strategy called covered calls, which limits how much the fund's income can grow over time. So while you're getting a lot more income on day 1 compared to DGRO, that income doesn't compound and grow at the same rate. It kind of plateaus. If I invested $25 a week into JEPI, starting with that same $1,000 initial investment, it would take around 43 years to reach $3,000 a month. That's actually longer than the DGRO approach, even though JEPI starts with a yield that's 4 times higher. And that right there is the trade-off I was talking about. High yield today, but slower income growth tomorrow. The math does catch up to you. Now to be clear, I'm not saying JEPI is a bad investment. It's not. It serves a very specific purpose. If you're already retired and need income right now, A high yield fund like JEPI makes a lot of sense. But if you've got a long time horizon ahead of you, and you're building toward a goal like $3,000 a month, relying only on high yield without growth is going to cost you years. If you're listening there, comment with your favorite ETF. I'll like everyone who does it. Strategy 3, the balanced approach. So what if you could get the best of both worlds, a decent yield and a decent growth rate at the same time? That's actually what I've been building in my own portfolio, and it's the approach I personally believe in the most. My portfolio right now sits at around a 4% dividend yield with a dividend growth rate of roughly 7 to 8% per year. I get meaningful income coming in today, but it's also growing at a solid rate, so the income 5 years from now is going to be substantially higher than it is today. How did I build that? I own a mix of ETFs and individual stocks across different sectors, some that are pure dividend growers, some that are slightly higher yield, and some that are more defensive in nature. The key is you're not sacrificing growth for yield or yield for growth. You're building something that does both at the same time. If I model this out, $25 a week, $1,000 to start, this balanced approach would get me to $3,000 a month in about 36 years. That's 1 full year faster than the pure growth approach and 7 years faster than the pure high yield approach. Not a dramatic difference on paper, but in reality, you're getting meaningful income along the way, and that income is growing faster than what you'd see with JEPI alone. Here's the part I really want you to sit with for a second. The biggest takeaway from all 3 of these scenarios is not which strategy gets you there fastest. It's this: starting matters more than the strategy. Every single one of these 3 paths gets you to $3,000 a month. Every single one. The person who starts today with $25 a week, even picking the slowest approach, is going to get there. The person who waits for the perfect strategy and never starts is not. The math doesn't care about perfect. It cares about time. $25 a week is $1,300 a year. Over 36 years with reinvestment and dividend growth, that turns into something that could pay your rent or more. And if you can invest more than $25 a week, the timeline shrinks fast. So to recap, if you go the low yield, high growth route with something like DGRO, you're looking at about 37 years to reach $3,000 a month in dividends. If you go high yield with JEPI, it takes closer to 43 years, more income up front, but slower compounding. And if you go balanced with a portfolio that blends both yield and growth, you can get there in about 36 years while enjoying growing income along the whole journey. None of these require a big starting investment. Just consistency, patience, and letting compounding do the heavy lifting. Watch this next video on screen to see my challenge on living on dividends for 30 days without using my salary. Subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only, and any results depends on your own decisions and actions.